Forget the teleprompter. Let's do it live. Hey everybody, it's me, Travis, of Giggles and Ticks, or Giggles and Bits if you watch my other channel, which I doubt. I doubt it. But yeah, I saw the Des Moines Register seltzer poll about Iowa, so I'm reading up a little bit on it before I share the screen. Facts. Let's see. Des Moines Register. This is from the Trump campaign. Okay, this is from the Trump campaign about the Des Moines Register outlier poll. So let me pull this up and let's read this together. So yeah, let's cover the state of the race and cover some of the final polls. I have RCP pulled up so we can take a look at a couple of different what's going on. So this is from Tony Fabrizio, the Trump campaign senior leadership team, subject about the Des Moines Register outlier poll versus the stable Emerson College survey of Iowa. So if you're unfamiliar with what's going on, two polls dropped late today for Iowa and the state of the race. So let's take a look at this and hear this from the Trump campaign, what they think. So the Des Moines Register is a clear outlier poll. Emerson College released today far more closely reflects the state of the actual Iowa electorate and does so with far more transparency in their methodology. Okay, so facts about voter registration and early voting. Voter registration on election day 2020, R plus 0.5%. That's 10,000 plus voters. I'm not going to get down to the actual complete numbers there. Actually, let me just make this my full screen here. Yeah, I don't know if that fixes anything, but let's see. Voter registration as of today, R plus 6.4. That's plus 143,000 voters. So that's 133,000 voter gain, nearly. So these figures include inactive voters. The margins are improved if reviewing only active voters. Absentee and early voting as of this point in 2020, D plus 13, 121,000 voters at this point in the election. Absentee early voting as of today, even negative 20 voters. It's even, and it's been pretty wild here in Iowa. I live in Iowa, so I think they've been averaging. So in Iowa with early voting, it's in-person absentee ballot. So you have to request your ballot and then take your ballot up to the auditor's office in each county and cast your vote. My wife and I, with two young kids, we don't have time to do that. So we're waiting for election day, and we're not concerned. Our election office is literally for in-person election day voting is around the corner on our block. So it's but yeah, they've been averaging in Des Moines, Polk County, they've been averaging, I think it's about 15 1,500 voters, and it takes about 30 to 45 minutes to get through the line during peak periods. Or what was it, 13,000? It's been crazy. It's been nuts. But either case, so let's see. To their credit, the Emerson College poll has a R plus 4 party split below 2020 exit polls at R plus 10, and the Trump plus 8 recall 2020 vote margin that aligns with reported returns. Emerson shows Trump ahead of Harris 53-43 in their survey. In the outlier Des Moines Register poll, which they're ridiculously biased, and I actually stopped reading them because they have so many spelling errors and grammatical errors that I would try to and on their back when I had Facebook, I would correct them, and they eventually blocked me from Facebook. So they're a bit unstable over there. Anyways, the Des Moines Register poll, they claim Harris leads with seniors age 65 plus. I can guarantee you 100%. my um lovable grandmother-in-law who passed away um a couple of weeks ago. um sh- I mean, she was diehard uh, Republican, and well, she presented herself that way. Her and her husband Marv were always very comfortable talking to us about what they thought, and she supported Trump. She wasn't like you know she wasn't walking around with a MAGA granny hat or anything like that. Why would she mess up her wonderful hair? The But her group of friends all pretty much they reflect that as well. That's not I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. But that's anecdotal. It's anecdotal. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there are seniors that do. So it's seniors age 65 plus by 19 points. That is in complete contrast to what people are seeing in the age in the 65 plus group um, across the country. Um, Below 65, I could see it being a little bit more pro Harris, but once you get to the 65 and up, it's there's no way. There's no way it's up by 19 points. That's just a complete opposite. Um, so yeah, that's ridiculous. In 2020, President Trump carried seniors 54 to 45 over Biden, according to CNN exit polls. The Emerson College poll released today concurs with the CNN exits from 2020, with President Trump solidly ahead 54-45 among voters aged 60 to 69, 54-44 among voters aged 70 and up. So that's good that they break it down, that they have that broken down there that way, because when you get to the 70 plus, it's like super, like I think it's like 74 up. You're considered technically like super senior, and you really should be looking at those people separate from even the 65 folks. So the Des Moines Register also claims Harris leads by 20 points among women, 56-36 in 2020. President Trump tied Biden 49-49 among women, according to CNN exits. And I don't see why that would change uh, here in Iowa. That's just kind of crazy. But they're comparing that to CNN exit polls from 2020, so that's not the bit of a disclaimer. That's not a true apples to apples. I would rather see what it is this date at that time. So maybe they're finicky with that a little bit. But yeah, once again, Emerson college poll today is more similar to exits, showing instead a lead for President Trump of 5 points, 52-47. That's what Emerson shows. Des Moines Register claims President Trump leads 51-39 among voters without a college degree. In 2020, President Trump won non-college voters by 17 points, 58-41. Yeah, I don't think that's going to change much. But again, that's not a true apples to apples comparison if you're comparing uh, what they have now to what the exit polls were then. So yeah, but this close to the election, I guess it's whatever. But so yet again, Emerson College poll from today agrees with President Trump leading strongly among voters who have less than 4-year degree. Unlike Emerson, which transparently reports its share of partisans and 2020 vote recall, Des Moines Register does not disclose the distribution of this information, even though they asked it in their survey. Emerson College reports, so that's a bit fishy too. So they could have polled people only in the city of Des Moines, and you're going to get a very strong bias. There are Democrat strongholds within Iowa. It's Des Moines, and then it's over by Iowa State and probably Ames a little bit too. But I've been up there in Ames. It doesn't feel too blue up there when you visit. So Emerson College reports that President Trump is leading strongly, 93-7 among Republicans, while getting 8% of Democrats to Harris 92. And that actually is, you know, I who was it? Was it Qantas Insights? I think had Trump getting 7% of Democrats. Um, and I think it was a little strong. I think it was 94 to 6 Republicans. So it's pretty close. That's pretty close to what I think what Qantas had. So President Trump solidly leads among independents, 55-42. Um, yeah, that's possible. I mean, that's possible. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy that that came out. Um, yeah, as far as the election, it's been fun. I've been enjoying this. Like I'm not comfortable in any way, shape, because you don't really, regardless of what the polls are saying, you don't know what's happening until, um, you know, the the actual vote numbers start to roll in. So yeah, you have no idea. You have no idea how it's going to turn out. But yeah, it's been a wild ride for sure. Um, Especially since we have a campaign that is being run, I think, very fun, very efficiently in the President Trump camp. They seem very organized this time. The lawyers, the credit to the folks at the RNC, they they seem to be on top of things a lot more this time. So if anything is being reported as shenanigans, it's immediately getting addressed and things are getting sorted out. Like the deal with the what was it, the voting machine, the touch screen in what was that, Kentucky or Tennessee? That like you watch the person like try to hit Trump Vance ticket, but it's nothing's happening, and then all of a sudden it selects Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as a selection. So that machine, um, I think it was a calibration issue. So that machine, they did run some tests. They couldn't replicate it, but then lawyers from the RNC showed up and they isolated that machine, pulled it aside, and after a while, they were able to get it to recreate that glitch. And I think it was just a calibration error, and ended up, you know, getting corrected. So yeah, no worries there. So with that, but there is definitely other shenanigans and stuff like that. Like stuff out of Bucks County, that was ridiculous, man. I mean, they knew how many people were going to show up. Well, they probably weren't expecting as many people as showed up to vote in person uh, in Pennsylvania, but in Bucks County, they straight up broke election law by shutting down some of the polling stations early, um, like several hours early, and that's inexcusable, and they got punished for it. Like they were ordered to extend early voting until Friday, and the lines were just massive and crazy. And then you get to, what was it, Lexolt? I can't remember the name of the town in Bucks County, and they had people waiting 5-6 hours to get their votes in, and um, because they seriously understaffed the polling stations, only putting 1 to 2 people in, which is insane. It's the last day that people can early vote in that area, and I think because of the shenanigans they pulled before, you end up having you end up creating a situation of urgent necessity, and you end up getting more people showing up, and whether it was, if it was intentional, it's disgusting. Um, it, it definitely falls under the line of voter suppression, because the same garbage has happened in the past, like, you know several decades ago, to suppress the black vote in southern states. And for anybody that thinks that that's not equivalent, it absolutely is equivalent. You're trying to suppress somebody that you disagree with. Um, you're trying to suppress their vote and discourage them. And nobody should have put up with it then, and we're certainly not going to put up with it now, regardless of who the target is. My throat sounds extra dry today. Oh my gosh, trying to pull up some. Yeah. The So yeah, I think yeah, their response to these things, to these issues has been pretty swift and quick. Although I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on in Colorado, um, with the passwords being posted to the, and it's like it's not just like the passwords for the Dominion vote or the whatever voting machines that they have there in Colorado. It's default passwords that are used across the entire company for all of their systems. So there's potentially um, there's potentially some serious issues with that um, across the entire country with those machines. So I think the word is being put out cor- to correct that and do some password changes. So hopefully nobody's been able to get into those machines and backdoor them. Um, they try to say that they're not connected to the internet, but um, I think in Wisconsin that there's been some whistleblowers coming forward to say that they are, and I think that's been proven that they can be. I mean, all like hackers are crafty, man. If there's a way in, they'll figure it out. Pretty ridiculous. But so as far as the Trump campaign, the schedule, it's I mean, he's going pedal to the pedal to the metal, 100 miles an hour, hair on fire, screaming all the way. They're having fun. They're playing loose. They're taking any gaffes that the Democrats make, and they're turning them on their heads. And they're surprisingly, the Democrats are surprisingly effective at pissing off a lot of people. Um, Notice Mark Cuban's not really saying anything anymore, for good reason. His comments that he made on The View is ridiculous. Like that is um, that is a disgusting comment that he made that he never ever should have made. It was in poor taste, and he pissed off his own friends. Look up the video from Sage Steele about with her response to um, Mark Cuban's comments. Let me pull her up real quick. Wonderful lady. I actually liked her a lot on ESPN. She was fun to watch. Yeah, let me pull this up. Oh, what the heck? Why'd you do that? There we go. Okay. Oh, come on. Travis, you should have set up a little this. I'm wearing the headphones, so it comes through my headphones and not my speakers. It's been a crazy day, guys. I freaking um my helping my wife set up today for our son's birthday party. We're celebrating it today, even though his birthday's on Monday. And oh, he had a blast. I was a little skeptical that a 2-year old or nigh 2-year old was gonna enjoy the themed party decorations that we set up for him, but he went nuts, man. He was just choo choo, choo choo. I love being a dad. All right, let's pull this up. I could probably do it. Yeah, let's do it this way. Let's do it. We'll do it live. Yeah. Yeah, that I think that was, I think that's pretty damning because, his own friends, um, w I think he got heated in the moment. I think, I th yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think. I've, I'm from the DFW, grew up there, um, was very, very excited when the Mavericks won the um, um, world championship, and, uh he was seen at that time. I don't know how it is now, but at the time, he was seen as a bit of a folk hero, because um, he paid for the parade, the celebrations and stuff like that going on downtown in Dallas. He covered all of that so that the burden wouldn't fall back on the taxpayer and the fans, when with the city, throwing the celebration for them, which I thought was super cool. I still think that was super cool, but he has grown more and more, I don't know, disconnected from reality as time moves on. So very sad, very sad. But yeah, I mean, it broke. I think was it late yesterday or early this morning that he was asked to no longer, stump for Kamala. So, but yeah, she's her that the campaign is uh, is not going well. It is not going well. Let me play this real quick because she has they're constantly having teleprompter issues, whether it's her up there or Cardi B surrogate went up there. She's more often than not she's having issues, and if you haven't been following her campaign rallies, she is there's always a very large, like, vocal protester group that gets into the Harris rallies and starts shouting at her, shouting down. It's pretty wild. But this is people are suspecting that her teleprompter went down again, and this is how she reacted. Yeah, so you hear the protesters there at the end, starting to shout, like, she's getting distracted by that. So I don't know if her teleprompter went down or she was getting distracted by another group of protesters shouting at her and shouting down at her. Earlier today, she actually snapped. She's like, "I'm speaking." She does a whole "I'm speaking" thing. Look at the demographic of people behind her that are supporting her. Um, a lot of old white people, probably overeducated. It's interesting. Very interesting. So things aren't looking great for her, and uh, these these things seem to keep happening with the Harris campaign. From the comments by Mark Cuban, the Joe Biden gaffing and calling Trump supporters garbage, and then the White House being getting caught changing the official transcript to make it look like he, was speaking to the comedian, but that everybody watched the video. It's not that's not how it gets played off. Uh, just to show you how badly it was received on The View, uh, how their audience reacted to Joe Biden's comments as they were played to the audience. And I don't think they were expecting this to happen. That was bad. That was bad. Um, I just want to bring it back to he almost did another. He was about to say that he was from Puerto Rico. Listen for it. Where I'm from. I think what he was trying, like, the benefit of the doubt. I think what he was trying to say is, uh, the Puerto Ricans where I'm from, Delaware, but he stumbled and stuttered like the Joe Biden stutter. Like that, maybe that's an actual incident of the Joe Biden stutter, or maybe he was about to say that he was from Puerto Rico. But oh my gosh, the state of this race, man. The state of this race. Okay, so I don't know if they've lifted the embargo for whether or not the specifics of this can be released. So the Atlas poll has been dropped officially. Uh, I believe this is their final poll, and let's see, full scenario for which of these candidates presidential election they had Trump up on a national level. So their demographics, they have their full like gender demographics, male, female, prefer not to identify, which is only 1.2%. It's interesting. It's pretty interesting. Yearly household income, they have that broken down for the below 50, 50 to 100, and above 100. Partisanship, Democrat, Republican, Independent. They had 31.2% Democrat participate in this poll, 41.2% Republican, and 27.6% Independent. So that's it's interesting that it seems that they ended up with an oversampling of Republicans. So I don't know how much that affects it. So um, their sample size was 967 people with plus or minus 3 percentage point margin error, and they're 95% confident in this poll, which they conducted between November 1st and the 2nd. Let's see, they predominantly polled. Oh wow, They predominantly polled people 45 to 64 in this polling, with the next biggest group being 65 plus, and which is, those are going to be the ones that are more like, that makes me wonder, because I'm going to look and see if they were able to capture the low propensity voters, and I wonder if that falls into that group. So the 30-44 is the next biggest group. That's the third biggest group, for 24 to 0.5, and then 10.6% for 18 to 29. So, but these guys were the most accurate in 2020. The most accurate poll. So that's why this one's of particular interest. Education level, college degree or higher, 51.3, and then everybody else, 48.7. Regions, suburban, okay, 57.2, urban, 27.2, and rural, 14.9. Okay. All right. That makes, okay. Yeah. Mixing it up like that, with the mixture that they have for the partisanship, makes me, that gives me a little bit more confidence, with this poll. Yeah. Race demographics, predominantly white, followed by Hispanic, Black, actually Hispanic, Asian, then Black, and then other. Interesting. Wouldn't expect Asians to be higher. Maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe that's the secret sauce. Maybe that's the secret sauce. So in their poll, they have, with gender, 50 majority were breaking for Donald Trump. They do have others. So this is full scenario. This is like everybody. Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, undecideds, Jill Stein, Chase Oliver, blank null, won't vote. So for gender, with men, it's going, Trump is favored. Women, Trump is favored again. And with other prefer not to identify, they broke heavily for Harris, all 1.2% of them. I would expect that. So education, college degree or higher, they break for Kamala Harris, for the majority, and all others is 60%, 60.4%, which is, I think, pretty in line with everybody else's polls. 18 to 29 breaking heavily for Kamala Harris. That's the college age kids, and young adults that are, fresh into the market. That makes sense. Although I do feel like that age group, that Gen Gen Y, Gen Z group, I feel like they're like, I don't know. I feel like they're a little more Republican, and I don't know if that's getting captured. I'm curious to see what the exit polls are going to be with that group, because I feel like Trump's going to perform a lot better with that group than what this poll is showing. That's interesting. That's my gut feeling. So age, but it's not uncommon. Like, I feel like the way they have it, it's standard, for what to expect. But I have a gut feeling that his support there is a little bigger than what they're capturing. Ages 30 to 44. Wow, that's millennials. That's like the full spectrum of millennials right there. So that's 30 to 44. Yeah, I can see that. Breaking heavily for Trump. Like, it's not even a contest. He's definitely winning that group. He's definitely winning 30 to 44, according to theirs. It's 52.6 to 39. And that's interesting, because I've always felt that my generation is like the millennial generation, the in-betweens. So I'm at the upper end. My wife is, funny enough, on the other end of it. She's younger than me. So we always feel like the in-betweens have been more liberal, but maybe maybe the in-betweens have had enough of a dose of reality that they're starting to see light. And then 45 to 64, that's breaking towards Trump pretty heavily. So one thing to note too. So with I glazed over this and I apologize. And I'm sorry for not showing you this. I just don't want to get in trouble with Atlas. If they didn't want to talk about this stuff. Jeremy Prime is active on Fortnite. So with 30 to 44, undecided 3.2. Okay, that's starting to make a little bit more sense. And then Jill Stein 2.3%. I do feel like there's, you know, there is some libertarian elements in that, and that's really the only like measure like there's a little bit of a measure for undecideds with the 18 to 29 3.2%, but it matches 30 to 44. And then as you get older, you don't see that undecideds are shifting towards Jill Stein, Chase Oliver. But within the millennial group, 3.2 for undecideds, 2.3 to Jill Stein, Chase Oliver 2%, and then almost a percentage point blank null won't vote. And they only captured that within the millennial group, the millennial generation. So that's and that's the only one that really is that varied and diverse, which I do feel like there's a lot of more independent thought generationally with millennials. So that yeah, I definitely I feel like there's a lot more libertarian views and liberal views, but it's surprising to see that to see as much support for the two-party system in this group. But that's making sense. Okay, confidence growing with this poll. Um, so 45 to 64, heavily breaking towards Trump, and 65 plus, not as strongly. That's interesting. I wonder what the actual ages were because they stop at 65 plus. So, like I said, that group, um, 65 to 74, I feel like that group pulls very differently than the 75 up. So I wonder what the actual breakdown is within that particular group. So family income below 50K, surprisingly towards Kamala. That's interesting. You would think maybe they think Trump is going to raise taxes on them. Maybe they buy into that. I don't know. That's interesting. I wonder if that's actually how it plays out. Family income 50 to 100,000, break 54, like break towards Trump, and then 100K up also breaks towards Trump. That's interesting because I would feel the 50K and below is your other prefer not to identify, but maybe it's just people that got completely useless degrees in college and can't find any real jobs. We're losing the barista vote. Partisanship, Democrats. Let's see. Kamala Harris nearly gets 97% of the Democrat vote. But wow, Democrats are losing people to Jill Stein. Jill Stein, wherever she is on the ballot, is hurting Democrats. That's interesting. And so for Republican, now that's interesting. That's intriguing. So the Atlas poll, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris with partisanship Republicans, identified Republicans, Trump is getting 93% and losing 6.1 to Harris. So according to them, they're seeing more Republicans breaking towards Kamala Harris than Democrats breaking towards Trump. I would have thought we'd be seeing the opposite of that. That's interesting. And he loses half a point to undecided voters. So there's apparently some undecided Republicans out there. It's not as monolithic. Not as monolithic. That's interesting. And with independents nearly even. I mean, nearly. I mean, Trump does take independents according to their polling with Harris, and then there's 4% undecided, and Jill Stein and Chase Oliver take the rest, and then nearly a percent say they won't vote. As far as location type, urban areas are breaking towards Kamala Harris, suburbans towards Trump, rural towards Trump. Interesting. Okay. And then with race, Asians. Wow, that's different than what I've seen in other polls. That's interesting. Asians breaking towards Trump. Blacks, they have 70% support for Harris, and mind you, Asians it's barely like Trump in this poll. Asians, it's 3.3 percentage points breaking towards Donald Trump. So 50 to 46.7, with Asians, 3.3% of those voting for Jill Stein. So, yeah. And then blacks, we have Donald Trump losing. But okay, so like you look at it this way, it's Donald Trump losing blacks to Kamala Harris, but he's taking 29.7%, nearly 30%. I'm telling you guys, I'm like, I don't know, have I said it on the stream? Man, I've been saying it to others. I don't know if I've said that before. I think Trump could potentially gain the most ground with uh, the black community than any other Republican has um, since I don't know. It's 29.7% to Kamala Harris's 70.3 is that's devastating to Kamala Harris. That is devastating. That's it. That's the end right there. That's the end. Hispanics go 50% towards Trump, 48.6, and then the other 1.4 is undecided. That's like that's that's nigh on 50-50. That's they're splitting the Hispanic vote between the two of them. That's devastating to Kamala Harris. Whites 52.8% to Trump, 43.9 to Kamala Harris. It divvies up between undecideds, Jill Stein, Chase Oliver, blank, nil vote. People that identified as other, 51.9% Donald Trump, 45.9% towards Kamala Harris. And I think that's a bit understated, because if you start to look at the support that Trump is getting from uh, um, Somalians, the Muslim vote, uh, that's going to be understated. That's I don't know if anybody really saw that support coming. And one thing I've starting to learn about the Muslim community is they listen to their leaders. So if they're if their leaders are saying they're all going to follow suit. If they're saying vote for Trump, and there's a lot of leaders coming out in support of Trump within the Muslim community. So that'll be interesting to see how that breaks down after the election. That's one of the things that I'm wanting to watch. So and then they also cover the 2020 vote. People that voted for Joe Biden, Trump is picking up 4.4% of those voters. Sorry, hiccups and burps. That's the most disgusting stream I've done. I apologize. Kamala Harris is getting 93% of those from this poll. Within this poll, Donald Trump is keeping 95.1%, but losing about 3.6%. So he's not losing as many voters as as Kamala is from the Joe Biden vote last time. That's not to be understated. So in a head-to-head, so this is not full. If it's just straight head-to-head between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, who would you vote for? He's winning. He's what is that? 7. So 7. No, 6.5. 6.5. 6.5 percentage points. I'm tired and my brain is not working as fast. Let's see. Head to head, who would you vote for? I go Trump. Presidential election, head to head, Harris Trump. It's looking about the same. This is the head-to-head vote, so I'm just trying to see if, like, head-to-head, it's if anything is different from what was with the full ballot. I'm not seeing anything that stands out. Okay. Whom would you vote for in United States Senate election? So this is Kari. Wow, they have Kari Lake up in Arizona. They have Kari Lake up in Arizona. Holy smokes. Did I bookmark? Okay, I'm checking out Atlas's pinned tweet because they have. I want to see if they have. So I wonder how well they polled Arizona back then. Okay. I don't know how well they polled, but they have Kari Lake as the favorite in Arizona for the Senate election. Interesting. It's tight. It's tight. She's gaining. You know what? If you look at the trend lines for that, they have her starting in 27th of September. She's down 3 percentage points, 4 percentage points below Ruben Gallego, and she starts to gain. And 29th of October, let's see, that's just a few days ago, she starts to rocket up. So in that time, she had that debate with Ruben Gallego. I think that debate hurt him a lot more because she is starting to gain steam. If you watch the trend lines, and it's moving towards Kari Lake. That's interesting. So yeah, she's let's see. She is winning amongst men and women. College degree or higher, she's losing there. Everybody else, and she might take it. I'm just looking at the numbers. Wow, she's really close, even on the below 50K. We're nationally below 50K is heavy support for Kamala Harris, but you get down into the nitty gritty of a Senate race, that support is not as strong for Ruben Gallego in that group, and she's taken the rest of the family income demographic there. And with lower voter turnout, Democrat support is 97, right around 97%, with Kari only picking up 1.4%. But if you look at the amount of people that are voting right now in Arizona and how many Republicans have turned in votes, that's that spells trouble. But she's losing 7.4 of her partisan Republican vote to Ruben Gallego. But I don't, as low as their turnout is, I don't know if that's enough for Gallego to take it. She might win. She might win. Where could she lose it? With urban independence? Maybe there's some ground to make up there, but the Democrat support, the Democrat turnout is just not there. I don't know if that's enough to flip it. Interesting. Very interesting. Presidential approval, only 37.1% approve of Biden's performance as president. 58.4% disapprove. And that's, yeah, 30% is pretty bad. I'm surprised it's that high, honestly. But within this group, yeah, they got breakdowns of how they feel about that. How do you evaluate Joe Biden's performance as president? 24. They feel 24. I don't think there's ever been a president that has won, or a outgoing administration that has won with that low of job performance evaluation with an outgoing party. So, Georgia. Let's look at Georgia. So let's see. For Georgia's polling, they've got, and Arizona. All they did with Arizona is they just looked at the Senate race for, yeah, that's all they covered on that one. So likely voters in Georgia. I think Georgia's going. I don't even want to look at this. I think Georgia's going, but let's take a look at the data. So they have 95% confidence with this. Yeah, their breakdown's pretty much similar to what they had before. Let's take a look at the results. Trump. What is that? That's 1.8. So within Georgia, Trump has a 1.8 percentage point advantage. That's within the margin of error. Oh, interesting. 3 plus or minus. Trump is winning men, women, others. He's 45.3 to 50.4 college degree on education. All other 51.7. Yeah, go out and vote, regardless of how you feel about these. If you have banked your vote, great, fantastic. If you need to vote, vote. If you haven't voted, vote. If you don't feel like voting, vote. 3 pillars of success in the campaign and in an election is to run up the numbers with every possible, way. Don't let pride keep you from exploring different ways of casting your ballot. If there's fraud, there's fraud. Yeah, who knows? So 1829, a lot closer in Georgia, 46.1 to 46.7, with 6.8 going to Jill Stein there in Georgia. Wow. 30 to 44. See that this makes sense for me in Georgia. 53.1% going towards Harris. So millennials in Georgia are breaking towards Kamala Harris. Whereas on a national level, we're seeing millennials break towards Trump. 45 to 64. Trump's edging out with 1.5 points. 65 plus, heavily Donald Trump. Yeah, it's like 20.5 points. 20.5 percentage points toward for the 65 and up. Family income, Trump is winning. See, this makes sense here at national, man. Those blue cities really mess up the ley lines, huh? So okay, so Georgia below 50 breaks towards Trump significantly. What is that? 6.6 percentage points. 50 to 100K looks like it's breaking towards Trump there, just barely above 100K. It breaks towards Kamala Harris. Again, Republicans are breaking towards Democrat in this poll. As far as partisanship, identify Republicans 94 to Trump 3.8, and then Kamala Harris is keeping 97.7. Democrats are, man, they're a loyal bunch. And then independents are breaking towards Kamala Harris. So maybe that's why it's so close in the overall. Just not getting the Jill Steins and Chase Olivers and the others are stealing away votes there. That's curious. Huh? Hmm. Very interesting. I can see why people think that Georgia's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be close. Head to head, Trump dominates. He's in their polls, he's never been below. A little bit of a closing in on October 30th between the percentage points, but you know the shifts are so minute. I don't know if they're how significant they are. I'll give you guys a sneak peek of this one ley line chart for Georgia and a head to head. So you can see 25 September, you get to October, uh, late October, and then within one day it shifts down. That could be response bias with how close we are to the election, but she's barely edging down. So that's interesting. Interesting. Let's see demographics for head to head without any others. By race, Asians overwhelming support in a head to head towards Trump. Blacks, Kamala Harris is winning that, but she's losing 27. That 27. That almost matches the national. That almost matches the national. And that's devastating for some of the demographics um, in Georgia. 27%. He could potentially they could it could be understated, folks. I'm telling you, it could be over 30%. This is unreal. Unreal. I sound like I'm waffling. I'm like, maybe it is close. Maybe it is close. But then you look at the black vote and how it's breaking like in the polls. Like you're seeing numbers like 27, 29. No way. No way. And then other 58.9. Guys, Hispanic. Well, see here they have Hispanic 8.7 not voting. Trump picking up 43.4. That's pretty crazy. 43, like in the 40s. Hispanic support in the 40s. Kamala Harris, 47.9. She's still picking up the majority of that, but 8.7 won't vote. Say they won't vote. Wow. No, and undecideds across all of this. Barely anybody's undecided at this point. If you're seeing undecideds at this point, like, what's going on there? I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, breaking towards Trump. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's something there, man. There's an activated voter out there. All right, so let's yeah, let's see approval, disapproval. Michigan. Let's look at Michigan. Everybody thinks Michigan's very contentious. I'm a little worried about Michigan, but you look at the support he's getting from the Islamic community in the Dearborn area. That's huge, man. That's huge. Even Somalis. Um, that's crazy. 95%. They had their sample size was 1198 folks. 51 female, 46 male, 1.5% prefer not to identify. Pretty even spread on household income. Demographic across partisanship is actually pretty level. 32.5, 32.4 Democrat, Republican, respectively, with 35.1. A little more independent. Is that normal for Michigan? Let's take a look at this. How does it break down? They have Trump 49.3 to 47.8. I wonder how much Jill Stein is hurting. Democrats. College hire 3.5. Let's see. Trump taking men, losing women by almost 10 points. Prefer not to identify overwhelming support for Harris. College educated or higher, breaking towards Trump. All others, 10.7% gain for Trump. Interesting. And then the age groups, we have 18-29 breaking towards Harris, 30 to 44 breaking towards Harris, 45 to 64, which I think is probably the largest of the voter blocks. The folks that like are gonna like show up, that consistently show up and cast their vote, overwhelming 57.7 to 38.2. That is, I mean, for Michigan, it could come down to Trump getting that 45 to 64 vote at nearly 58%, and Harris not being able to gain enough votes in the get enough activated voters in the 18 to 29, 30 to 44, or winning enough of those votes within those people, because 46 to 50 in the 18-29, 44 to 53 in the 30 to 44. Maybe she's just not winning enough of those groups, and that's why they're 95% confident that Trump's gonna take Michigan. 65%, 65 plus is Harris, 58.8 to 44.2. Again, I'm wondering how many of those people are 65 to 74 or 75 up in that super senior range. So we'll see. Let's see. Family income. Trump takes below 50. Trump loses 2.2%. He's down 2.2% for the 50 to 100K, and he's down 4.9, 5.9, 5.9, 4.9, 4.9 of the above 100K family income. Partisanship in Michigan, Democrats most affected. Partisanship. Trump picks up 6.2% of the Democrat vote. Harris only gets 92 effectively, losing a little bit and again losing another almost 2% to Jill Stein, who's on the ticket. So again, another example of the independent hurting the the independent hurting the Democrat. So that's interesting. And then with Republicans, they keep 96% and lose almost 4% to Kamala Harris. That Republicans aren't voting for anybody else, according to the poll. Independents, 47.9 or 48, I guess, to Harris and 46 to Trump, with Stein, Chase taking up the rest of that, splitting that up. Urban, they have Trump ahead by 0.9. By 0.9, they have Trump taking the urban vote. Suburban vote goes to Harris at nearly 50%, with Trump taking 47. Interesting. I wonder if that's the woman vote, because she does take the 54.1. So maybe that's, it's suburban women, man. They do vote. Rural, Trump overwhelming, 12 points. Don't even need to get into that. Asian, they're tied. Asian vote, they're tied. Black vote, Trump 30, almost 39. Guys, there is something epic happening in the Black community across the entire country. Michigan, 38.6% of the vote going towards Trump. Kamala Harris is still taking 55, but that's devastating. She can't win. She can't win with that. If that translates to the rest of Michigan, that she's not taking Michigan. Hispanic, Trump, 40%, 41% of the vote, 58 to Harris. White, 51. Trump takes that group. Other 66.6%. That's the Muslim. That's the Somali vote. That they cannot be understated how important those endorsements from the imams, the clerics, and the mayor, business owners throwing their support for Trump. These community leaders mean a great deal. So that it can't be understated. Let's see. Trump is picking up 7.3% of the Joe Biden vote. I kind of had a suspicion that was going to be where Trump was going to be making big gains with folks that voted for Trump or voted for Biden in 2020, and Trump's only losing 4.5 to Harris. And then yeah, wow. 38.6. That is unheard of, man. That's so crazy. Head to head numbers look essentially the same. And while it's fun to look at the head to head, the stuff with the ballot, it does look like Mike Rogers is in trouble out there. So his support doesn't seem to be trickling down within the polls, but who knows? Who knows? Trump could potentially drag him along. What is it? 3.3%, 3% percentage point error plus or minus. So 48.6 to for Lisa Slotkin to Mike Rogers, Republican, 47.3%. That's 1.3% swing. That's within the margin of error. It could, he might be able. Trump might be able to drag Mike Rogers across the finish line. I think that's why he's, asking Trump to show up in Michigan. Trump's done with Wisconsin, by the way. He's not going back. He's got nothing else slotted for Wisconsin on his schedule. So he is going back to Michigan. I think he thinks he can drag Mike Rogers across, and he is a bit of a upswing over the last 2 days. Yeah. Yeah, he's just not getting enough of the black vote. Hispanic vote mirrors Trump's. Asian vote mirrors Trump's. Other, pretty close to what Trump is getting, but it's the black vote is just not swinging towards him. So we'll see how that goes. Presidential approval in Michigan. Wow, he's 40.3. That's weird, but they think he's 53% think he's done a terrible job. Interesting. I might have been looking at those wrong at the other ones. So that's it's all over the place, man. It's all over the place. Nevada, 782 respondents, 4 plus or minus percentage point swing, margin of error there. 95% confident. Guys. I'm curious how this goes because region, it's heavy suburban, followed by urban, then rural. Even if they're understating the rural vote, Trump's got it. It's outside the percentage. Even with a 4 point plus or minus margin of error, they got him at almost 51.5% taking Nevada. And that's full scenario. He's got the edge on Hispanic support, white support, black support 42.5%, Asian support overwhelming 60%. Nevada's done. That's Trump's. That's Trump land. I'm not even going to look at the rest of it. Not even going to look at the rest of it. Senate selection: Jackie Rosen versus Sam Brown. They got Jackie Rosen with the edge, 46.1 to 45.9. Again, 4 point margin error, plus or minus. That's Trump could drag Sam across the finish line. Sam Brown could take this. Where is he losing? Where is he losing? Sam Brown's losing the Hispanic vote. So, and the Asian support. Interesting. Just couldn't make. I guess he just couldn't make enough inroads with Asians and Hispanic, but his support with the black community almost mirrors Trump. So who knows? If he loses it, it's because he wasn't able to pick up enough in the Hispanic and the Asian. Let's see. 53% think he's done terrible. Everybody thinks Biden has done terrible. North Carolina. We got 3 percentage point margin of error. 1310 respondents. We're going through it all, man. Let's see. For which of these candidates' North Carolina ballot would you vote for in the upcoming presidential election? 50.4 to 46.8. That is slightly outside the margin of error. Why is it so close there? Why is it so close there? Let's look at the numbers. Let's look at the numbers, guys. Real quick, let's check out what's going on here. See, I fucking hate people. Yeah, it's what I covered earlier. I just did a quick scan of X, and yeah, they're people are putting up the Des Moines Register poll, the outlier poll, and people are like, "Holy f! Didn't see this coming. What in the world is going on?" Fucking retards. I say that with affection. You guys are precious little gifts. Precious little gifts. Guys, man, it's so sad about Peanut and Fred. That's just so messed up, man. It's messed up because of this. You sleeping? Trying to. Peanut the squirrel was investigated more than any single client on the Epstein list. What are some of these memes? Put to death without trial. Trump needs to do it. He needs to do it. If he did this, he'd break the internet. I'm telling you right now, he'd win landslide. That would be so ridiculous. No, no way. No way that happens, man. Oh man, Anatoly's awesome. Have you guys ever seen the Anatoly stuff? I'm gonna share this real quick. This dude's awesome. This dude is hilarious. He's a professional weightlifter. And the dude is like crazy strong, like super strong, and he doesn't look like it. So he wears clothes and puts on uh, disguise and goes to the gym and trolls people working out in the gym. I love it. Shit is so awesome. I'm probably not going to be able to play it because of the music. It's like, those are fake plates. What do you mean they're fake plates? What the f, man? What? I mean, like, all these plates, they're fake. And he's like, oh, will you let me try? Yeah, can you hold my mop? Dude almost fell over. Look at his face. Just a regular mop. He just makes it look easy. He's like, yeah, these are fake weights. I love that. I love that video. That dude is hilarious. I freaking get a kick out of him trolling people. I don't know what you're messing with, man. I don't know what you're messing with. Yeah, look at this. This is how fake the Harris campaign is. It's so scripted. That's why it comes off flat, because there's no there's no moments for creativity or stepping outside of the, what's scripted for the campaign. They can't really do much with that, because she's incapable of doing it. Yeah. What is going on? What is happening? That is so bad. That is so bad. That is so bad, folks. That is so bad. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Let's quickly look through the rest of this because I've been going for over an hour. Yeah. That's state North Carolina. Let's see. North Carolina. Why is this? Look at the demographics. Why is it looking so close? Trump support with blacks is not as high. With so Trump, yeah. So it's looking. This poll here for North Carolina looks like probably what you would expect for for a competitive race. That's interesting. So with Asians, Kamala Harris has the majority of support. So that kind of matches what we saw with Georgia. If we were to go back and look at Georgia, that's pretty much what it would look like. Um, Blacks, Trump's only taken 17%. I think in Georgia it was around 21%. Hispanics, Trump is edging out Harris, and then he's losing others there. That's interesting. But he's picking up more of the Democrat votes from Joe Biden's 2020 election, and he's not losing as much to Kamala Harris. So if he loses, it's because of that. I mean, how many? What was the Asian? Only 1.3% of it Asian, and 5.16%. It's going to be because of the African American black vote. If he loses Georgia, it's because he wasn't able to pick up enough there. And then, yeah, because with whites, you got 73%. He's picking up 58.9. That's that could be the let's look at the educated. Yeah, he's barely losing educated, but he's not picking up as like 57. That's 17% advantage there between uh, college degree or higher and everyone else. Um, man, see, that doesn't make any sense there. Uh, hmm. Yeah. So failure to make gains with black and white college educated and Asians. So yeah, that college that it doesn't seem significant. 45.8 to 51. I mean, that's why it's close because he's got as much support as he has there, almost 46. Hmm. So who's hurting him? So below 50, Harris has the edge there. 50 to 100K, Trump's overwhelmingly got support there. And then above 100K, yeah, it's got to be those higher paying jobs within those two demographics. I would imagine that's probably a bigger share of black and white within the college educated with above 100K income, and that's why it's competitive there. He really needs to have more support uh, in that above 100K. Like it, like to make it make sense. It's like two ends of the spectrum. Like it's like whites and blacks are going to be on both ends, the below 50 and the above 100K, because of the makeup of the Atlanta area, and then like Savannah, Georgia, and the rest of the rural areas. They're going to fall into those two brackets for the median, and then everybody else is going to with some is going to affect the family income within the 50 to 100K. So the fact that he has 17.3% of the black vote is a positive for Trump, but it's not enough to make up not being above 65% for the white vote. And he's also losing others. And I think, man, they didn't sample as many Asians. I feel like Atlanta has a pretty good Asian population, and that could be hurting him too. But that seems to be maybe slightly underrepresented in this. We'll see what it looks like. We'll see what it looks like. In a head to head without anybody else, Trump just destroys. So yeah, independent like the other like Jill Stein undecideds, Chase Oliver, those folks do seem to be peeling off a lot of that support. What is Trump's schedule? Let me pull that up. I wonder if he's going back to Georgia. Let's go to the events tab. So he's going to Macon, Georgia. He'll be there tomorrow, 6:30. That's his last one tomorrow. So he's hitting Pennsylvania, Kingston, North Carolina, Macon, Georgia. That's probably a good spot to hit up Sunday night. And then on Monday, he's hitting Raleigh, North Carolina, Reading, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and then he's heading back to Michigan, Grand Rapids. They must be pretty confident if they only got one at Macon. So, yeah. Pull that up so you guys can see that. Tomorrow starts off in Lidditz, Pennsylvania, then goes to Kingston, Macon, Raleigh, North Carolina, Reading, Pittsburgh, and then wraps up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So he's pushing hard for Pennsylvania. So maybe Pennsylvania is way more competitive than North Carolina, Georgia, and Michigan. You know, this tells me that he is like their campaign is way more confident in Michigan. Maybe just needs a little bit of a nudge. Georgia, they just need a little bit of a nudge. North Carolina, a little bit of a nudge. 1, 2, 3 rallies over the next 2 days in Pennsylvania. So maybe they think that's where they can. Well, obviously, that's where they think that they're going to get the most out of that. So let's take a look at the Harris rally schedule. Close. Don't care. I just want to see your rally schedule. And they hit you with all sorts of like vote, donate here, later, subscribe. Like they hit you with like tons of pop-ups. I just want to see the schedule. What's the rally schedule? You know, I type that in and I look it up on canvassing, door knocking, get out the vote, go the extra mile. I just want to see the campaign events. Why not just show me the campaign events? What the F? Why is this so difficult? Jiminy Christmas. Okay. I hope you guys can hear me farting. That would be chef's kiss. I'm gonna have to search that again. Okay, I guess I'm going to Politico to find out what Harris's campaign rally is. I don't want to know where they are today. I want to know where they're going to be tomorrow. Okay, let's go back. Let's see. Why does no one know where they're freaking going? I had a feeling that one was going to be loud, so I spared you guys. Where are they going? Let's see. Harris won't be in Pennsylvania personally on Friday. Who cares? Second gentleman Doug Emhoff. Surrogates will. President Biden is slated to visit Philadelphia, speak about the administration's support for unions. Doug Emhoff. Gwen Walls, Thursday afternoon, followed by Stop and Reading. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is slated to be in Michigan, where he makes stops to traverse the city. This is old. Friday, Harris will be in Wisconsin, where she'll hold a campaign community event in Appleton area, followed by a rally in Milwaukee. And then they go into what Trump is doing. Nobody knows what the Harris campaign is doing. So she is going to be in North Carolina. Why is it so effing hard to find out what Harris's rally schedule is going to be? Trying to find out where she's going, and I'm having to click through so many. Let's see, Saturday, last day early voting in North Carolina with 3.8 million. Harris plans appearances with rock star John Bon Jovi in Charlotte, biggest city in North Carolina, which is tied with Georgia for the second biggest prize of swing states. Each has 16 votes. I don't know why she's wasting time in North Carolina. She's not going to win it. I don't think she's going to win it. She also went to Georgia today with rally. She's going to speak at the rally where film director Spike Lee and singer Victoria Monet and are due to speak at the rally with performances from 2 Chainz, Big Tigga, Monica, and Pastor Troy. In the final 48 hours, she's going to Michigan State at East Lansing on Sunday and close out the election in Pennsylvania with rallies in Allentown, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh. So they're both in the final, so she's visiting Michigan tomorrow, and then she's going to spend Monday in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is going to be that's where the battle's going to be. So I think that what that tells me is both campaigns feel that Pennsylvania is closer between the two of them because they're putting all of their focus there. So election night, I'm watching Pennsylvania. We're watching how that goes. It comes all down to Pennsylvania. But let's look at RCP. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time. So RCP, this is where it's at right now. They have Nevada, Arizona as toss-ups. These are going Trump. These are going Trump. Georgia. Georgia's close, but he's only got one rally stop there, and she's done with Georgia today, Saturday, November 2nd. So I think that's going. I think that's going Trump. North Carolina. He's got one more visit. I think I feel like they're confident that North Carolina is going to go Trump. Wisconsin. He went there today. I think he's done. He's done with Wisconsin. She's done going to Wisconsin. I think that's, Minnesota is close, but nobody's making a play for that. I'm thinking this is blue. This is lean blue. I don't think Trump picks it up. If he does, it'll be a shock. It'll be a huge miscalculation by the Harris campaign and not having Tim Walz reinforce Minnesota. So they're either really confident that it's still going to be blue, but right now polling averages have it as a toss-up. This is a surprise here. Nebraska 2, District 2. That's Omaha. They have that as a toss-up. Trump could take that. It's a possibility. Some people are talking about it. New Hampshire's a toss-up right now, guys. In the polling, it's going to be close. It could happen. It could happen. I think it stays blue. Maine. I feel like Maine. I feel like it's going to stay this light blue. Like stay at light blue. New Jersey, surprise for New Jersey. Okay, so right now Republicans actually lead in ballots cast in New Jersey. Doesn't mean that they all voted for Trump. So who knows? But if there's going to be a surprise state flip, I think it's New Jersey. That's going to be the surprise one. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's likely. So, but New Jersey, if there's going to be a shock flip, it's going to be New Jersey. Virginia, I don't know. It could go that way. I mean, who is it? Youngkin. Yeah, Youngkin feels like this is in play. Cow thinks it's in play. Well, you know what? We should pull up his. They don't even have him up. But he's close. Cow, Republican running for a Democrat seat in the Senate. He could take it. He has a chance. He's within the margin of error. It's a very, very close race. Virginia could go. North Carolina, I think, is done. Let me see. Let me pull up my own map. North Carolina. I have North Carolina. I have Georgia. So no toss-ups. Still have New Hampshire is going. I think I don't have confidence that's going to go. New Jersey, I think, is going to be light blue. Maine, I think we're going to pick up our normal ME21 or what is it? Did I get that mixed up? No, that's right. Okay, just want to be sure. So okay, they had in the RCP average they do have this a little bit lighter. I don't know. I'll just make that solid. So this is my electoral map. Okay, I'm sticking to this. He takes Wisconsin, he takes Michigan. If he's got one rally there, one rally here. He's done here. He was done here. He's not going back. So he's that the campaign is that confident. They don't need to try that hard. It's not that close. If he takes Wisconsin, he's taking Michigan. That's why there's only one more rally there. North Carolina, one more rally here. Georgia, one more rally here. These are going Trump. The battle is going to be PA. Okay. We can talk about scenarios where, does he get New Hampshire? Does he pick up, blah, 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 blah. This is the battleground. This is the true battleground state this time. Arizona, Nevada, those are going Trump. New Mexico might be one to watch. And the reason why I say that, there are a lot of communities along the Texas border with Mexico. I have family in this area here. They have never, ever, ever voted Republican. Never, ever. They're voting Trump this election. Massive support, buying the hats, in the gear. They're excited. And I'm telling you, if they feel that way here in Brownsville, Texas, the most southern town uh, in the state of Texas, a border crossing town with traffic going across there. If you're seeing that sentiment there, I'm telling you, it's reflected in all of these communities all along here and here and here and here. But it doesn't matter because the the blue parts are always going to keep California the way it is. New Mexico is in play. People have talked about it. This one, I think, has more likelihood of going to Trump than uh, New Hampshire or New Jersey or Maine. I think these play out just this way. New Jersey could be the absolute like, oh my God, I can't believe it. New Jersey went to Trump. That's going to be that's how that's going to play out. Virginia, if it goes, it goes. I won't be surprised, but I just don't see it. I don't see it happening. I'm not going to waste time doing thought experiments about this one. New Mexico, yes, I will think about that. So the two states I'm going to be watching is going to be PA, New Mexico for sure. Going to watch Duval County out of Florida, the Jacksonville area. I used to live here and here. Love Jacksonville, fun city. But Duval County, if Duval County goes Trump, Georgia's going Trump. Like I said, one stop here, one stop here, one stop here. This is all. Pennsylvania is the battleground. That's the one to watch for sure. New Mexico is going to be fun to watch, just shits and giggles. And Duval County, just to verify the direction of Georgia. So those are my thoughts. Those are my final thoughts, guys. Sorry if it was a bit boring going through the numbers, the Atlas poll. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to Tuesday night. I'm going to be streaming. I'm going to be covering it. Nobody watched this stream, so blah, 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 blah. If you got this far, I appreciate it. Please like, subscribe. I should probably say this in the beginning. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below where you think the direction of the election is going to go. I'm not going to another week. I'm not going to jump into biblical walk through the mass. We'll pick that up after the election. Yeah, this is it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really, really fun. Yeah, we'll just have to watch the Senate races and the House races to look at how those are gonna go. And yeah, other than that, adios, and enjoy the rest of your evening. And just relax. Just relax. If you haven't voted, go vote. And just do what you can do. Beyond that, it's in God's hands. Peace be with you.